Namo Phat. Good morning. Thanks for joining me for our daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This beautiful sound calls us back to our true home. The fifth mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful consumption, I vow to cultivate good health, both physical and mental, for myself, my family, and my society by practicing mindful eating, drinking, and consuming. I will ingest only items that preserve peace, well-being, and joy in my body, in my consciousness, and in the collective body and consciousness of my family and society. I'm determined not to use alcohol or any other items that contain toxins, such as certain TV programs, magazines, books, films, and conversations. I'm aware that to damage my body or my consciousness with these poisons is to betray my ancestors, my parents, my society, and future generations. I will work to transform violence, fear, anger, and confusion in myself and in society by practicing a diet for myself and for society. I understand that a proper diet is crucial for self-transformation and the transformation of society. We're reading Ajahn Chah's book, Everything is Teaching Us, for our Dharma lessons. This morning we continue a question and answer section from the Dhamma talk, The Monastery of Confusion. Question: are vitakka and vichara the same? Answer: you're sitting and suddenly the thought of someone pops into your head. That's vitakka, the initial thought. Then you take that idea of the person and start thinking of them in detail. Vitakka picks up the idea, vikara investigates it. For example, we pick up the idea of death and then we start considering it. I will die, others will die, every living being will die. When they die, where will they go? Then stop. Stop and bring it back again. When it gets running like that, stop it again. Then go back to mindfulness of the breath. Sometimes the discursive thought will wander off and not come back, so you have to stop it. Keep at it until the mind is bright and clear. If you practice vikara with an object that you are suited to, you may experience the hairs of your body standing on end, tears pouring from your eyes, a state of extreme delight. Many different things occur as rapture comes. Question: can this happen with any kind of thinking, or is it only in a state of tranquility that it happens? Answer: it's when the mind is tranquil. It's not ordinary mental proliferation. You sit with a calm mind, and then the initial thought comes. For example, I think of my brother who just passed away, or might think of some other relatives. This is when the mind is tranquil. The tranquility isn't something certain, but for the moment the mind is tranquil. After this initial thought comes, I go into discursive thought. If it's a line of thinking that's skillful and wholesome, it leads to ease of mind and happiness, and there is rapture with its attendant experiences. This rapture came from the initial and discursive thinking that took place in a state of calmness. We don't have to give it names such as first jhana, second jhana, and so forth. We just call it tranquility. The next factor is bliss, sukha. Eventually, we drop the initial and discursive thinking as tranquility deepens. Why? The state of mind is becoming more refined and stable. Vitakka and vikara are relatively coarse and they will vanish. There will remain just the rapture accompanied by bliss and one-pointedness of mind. When it reaches full measure, there won't be anything. The mind is empty. That's absorption concentration. We don't need to fixate or dwell on any of these experiences. They will naturally progress from one to the next. At first there is initial and discursive thought, rapture, bliss, and one-pointedness. Then initial and discursive thinking are thrown off. leaving rapture, bliss, and one-pointedness. Rapture is thrown off, then bliss, and finally only one-pointedness and equanimity remain. It means the mind becomes more and more tranquil, and its objects are steadily decreasing until there is nothing but one-pointedness and equanimity. When the mind is tranquil and focused, this can happen. It is the power of mind, the state of the mind, that has attained tranquility. When it's like this, there won't be any sleepiness. It can't enter the mind, it will disappear. The other hindrances of sensual desire, aversion, doubt, and restlessness and agitation won't be present. Though they may still exist latent in the mind of the meditator, they won't occur at this time. May all beings be well, may all beings be happy, may all beings be peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thanks for joining me today.